Hey everybody, welcome to Speed Bump. We have a game for July. It's been a while since we've done a speed game. We're going to try another one. We're into that Royal Rumble pack, which I like a lot.
But it does take a lot of energy.
Should be easier in the future. It's getting better. Still quite a bit though. Once we get it down, we can run this more often, but you know, the show is also about setting some world records, or at least checking out some speed runs, so let's try that. We got a good game for you. Let's reveal it here. The Adventures of Pinocchio? How do you... What? Yeah, I've actually played this before, I think. A never-released beta of Autofan 10, an isometric action puzzle platformer game developed by Bit Managers and released in 1998 for the Game Boy, similar to games such as Solstice or Equinox. Unrelated to Disney's Pinocchio game for the Game Boy. There are 100 levels and you cannot lose any lives. The game follows Pinocchio, imagine that, on his adventures, incredible, in order to save his creator, Geppetto, from the belly of the well. He traverses through the woods into a castle that leads him into the belly of the whale. How does that happen?
Very, very slowly.
That was a really good blurb. Did you get that off the back of the game box?
I did. The very real game box that you can see right there that has the Disney Interactive logo on it.
I hope whoever wrote that got paid a ton.
They're still waiting on the check.
I'm sorry, I don't have anything for it. We have 3 players who are ready to race this for us. If we are going to use this as a speed game, if it looks good, and it has Author Blue's upvote, I think, so far. So
yeah,
I like Solstice. Or there was another game like this I'd played on the Game Boy Color. It might have actually been this one. I liked it if it's the one I think it is.
This was a prototype for Autofanten, which was like a German comic strip or something. And that game's fairly similar to it, obviously, since this was a prototype for that game, but the levels are all completely different. And I considered having us look at Autofanten, but I think that one's actually been speedrun pretty significantly by a runner that I trust probably has a pretty solid run. Looking at the run, it didn't seem like there were any obvious mistakes in it, so I figured I'd submit this one because I've run it and I know I made lots of mistakes.
I'm waiting for Moonberry, one of our racers, to connect. Everyone
Moonberry
else
is coming. Moonberry has responded, so.
Okay. So we are, how much do you expect to do in 30 minutes? Well, what does the record look like here?
It's about 16 minutes long. It's actually a very quick game. Every single level is pretty small. I mean, the fake box art that you see right there is the size of every single screen. And you just got to get to the exit of the screen. So it all becomes just knowing how to get to the exit door. There's obstacles, spikes, enemies chasing after you, things like that. It's a lot like Solstice in that way, except for in Solstice, it's like a whole connected map. But the levels are very quick, and my run is far from optimized. It was just a fun game that I picked up for a weekend one time, so. Kind of interested to see if anyone comes up with any better routing. Certainly they can come up with better optimization.
Well, we are putting 3 weeks on this one.
Mm-hmm. In 30 minutes, it's not unrealistic to think that we could see some clears. I know 100 levels sounds like a lot, but most levels, especially the early ones where they're not too terribly complicated, can be finished in, 10 seconds.
We got that OST kicking in. Somebody's messing with that volume.
Do you have that captured correctly? Is that is Digi the one that's not fully up yet?
I think that's Moonberry. I have their names wrong. I'll fix that.
Okay.
Thracia is correct. Moonberry is the one that just went live. Okay.
Yeah, this definitely wasn't made by Disney. That box art, there is no box art for this game because it was a prototype. That's the box art that I think Retro Achievements uses, which is where I found it. Someone took the Disney box art and just copied in one screen of the game.
That's fine. They don't mind. Anyway, as soon as our players are ready, and it looks like they're messing with their layouts a little bit. As soon as they're ready, we'll go. I'm gonna make our screens bigger. Yeah. It used to be larger, but then we had a 5th screen on this because we're crazy. We don't know how to make layouts. It's me. I'm the one who makes them. So you expect them to finish, maybe?
It's realistic that they could. If they get hung up on some of the later levels, like just tripped up by them a lot, then maybe we won't see any clears. But the world record's 16 minutes, and it's not terribly optimized. I would imagine that 30 minutes is actually possibly enough time for them to finish. At the very least, I'd expect that we get well into the 70s and 80s level number.
Okay. I'm ready to go. If they are, you can give us a countdown whenever you think it's time to start.
I'm just checking on Moonberry that he's ready to go. Alright, I've given them the go.
So if we choose to do this speed game, $20 prize for having the world record, and that would be on the 31st, like at 12:00:01, like 1 second in on the 31st. As soon as the clock turns to the 31st, that's when the clock is up.
So they effectively have infinite lives. They should have ample time to kind of work out what each level is asking them to do. As you can see, it tutorializes pretty much everything. So the real tricky bits here is that it's an isometric platformer. I mean, if you've ever played Solstice or Equinox, it's that kind of game where you really have to be able to grasp how it's communicating 3 dimensions to you.
Yeah, I've definitely played this before. I don't think I've played this version of it though, so maybe I played like a Game Boy Color hack or something, or it was just one of those other games that has the same system.
Yeah, possibly. If you did ever happen to play Autophanton, it looks a lot like this, since they're, related.
Regarding Speed Bump itself, we've been reformatting a little bit. We've been trying out different stuff. I feel like giving prize out doesn't really motivate any more than just people wanting to participate in the community. So I've been leaning away from that. It's expensive anyway, and I'm broke. So there's that. But so we haven't been giving out prizes, but we have been hosting a whole bunch of community events. The Royal Rumble Pack seems to be popular, and it seems to be bringing in more than 16 players, which is not something we usually achieve with this kind of thing. Like we got 3 for tonight, which is like enough to have a race. If we had any less, we would do it ourselves probably. But yeah, 16 players is great, so I'm really into that event.
Yeah, that format's been a lot of fun so far.
Did you check out the last one that you weren't here for?
Yeah, you did Arrow the Acrobat. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, we need to be careful with our challenges. That's one thing to. I got a lot of notes for Bizarre.
Hey, if I had been here, I could have told you don't do Arrow the Acrobat.
It would have been fine if we backed up one level on it to where it is beatable. That's important.
That is such a frustrating game.
There's a lot wrong with it. Dive kicking is your primary weapon is one of them, I guess. I guess I'll give you that. Also, jumping on cubes is a mechanic that you have to do all day. So what are we looking at here? What do you got to say about Pinocchio here? How they doing?
So right now, Digi's kind of getting stuck on this one type of enemy that happens a lot in the woods, which is this guy, if you ever touch the ground, he just chases you down. So some levels are gonna force you to kind of figure out how to get him stuck so you can get around him, and some levels are just going to be don't touch the ground so that he doesn't chase you down. Everyone else seems to have gotten past it though. Lauricia and Moonberry both seem to be keeping pace with one another pretty well. I'm just kind of interested to see which levels are the ones that hang people up.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of small tricky bits in this game. I mean, it's non-trivial to beat. But I'm just kind of curious where the problem levels are going to be.
So is this actually Pinocchio, or did they just reskin something that they had made?
No, I think the idea was that this was going to be based on some other license that was going on at the time, Adventures of Pinocchio. I don't remember what that license exactly was, but I think they ended up getting the license to something else and selling it in Europe as that Autofanton game.
You know, I've definitely seen it multiple times, but I don't remember what the fuck happens in this movie. Some wild stuff happens. I don't remember the plot at all.
Disney's Pinocchio?
Yes.
Yeah, he like wants to become a real boy, and
yeah, I got that part.
So he goes to the carnival.
There is a scene where a bunch of kids get turned into donkeys.
Remember that? I remember that.
What,
I remember that. That's at the.
How did we get to that? What happened? I don't remember that at all. And then there's a whale. Somehow he gets swallowed by it while being a donkey or something. I don't know. I completely forget. It's just this like, well, I know those things happen, but they don't make any sense in terms of how did they get to that plot.
Yeah, if you hadn't asked me, I would have said I do remember Pinocchio's story pretty well, but now...
I mean, that seems like a major plot point, right? He became a donkey, but he's still a wooden boy. How does this happen?
He gets kidnapped and taken to Pleasure Island, right? And he gets turned into something, and Geppetto tries to, like, rescue him.
Let's back up Pleasure Island. What the fuck is that? What do you mean? Where's he gone? What happened to just being a little boy in Italy?
He gets kidnapped, right? Like at the
By who? What happened?
Carnival or fair, there's like a guy who kidnaps him.
I hate to see it.
Geppetto's like sailing to find him, but gets eaten by a whale.
Damn, that's a rough time. Yeah, I think the appeal. I remember him being like put on a show because he's a puppet. And the guy had regular puppets too, but he's like he's really into this really good one, I guess.
Yeah, he's a way better puppet.
Yeah. It seems like level 13 is the sticking point, and Moonberry has cleared it.
I mean, it's a little bit of a puzzle how to get the block into a place where you can use it to get up there. I wonder if it's actually necessary to get that block though, since you can stand on those little like bushes and get the same amount of height. I wonder if it's actually necessary to use that platform in the first place. I'm like rerouting this in my head since I haven't run it in 5 years. Moonberry right now is having the very understandable problem of trying to figure out what the isometric layout is trying to communicate to him.
Blasted. Well, at least progress is progress. There's no falling backwards in this. I think I played enough Alundra to not have any trouble with this kind of thing. Like, Alundra's so long that by the time you finish it, you are the isometric god. You're the champ of isometrics.
Seems like everyone made it out of 14 or 13 and then quickly past 14. 15 seems to be the new little bit of tricky platforming, but the thing is it's totally excusable for them to be having trouble with level 15 because level 15, I mean, is it at all obvious where those platforms actually are relative to one another?
I feel like I understand it, but I can see why you wouldn't. I'm looking up the plot. Pinocchio. That cartoon was made in 1940, is that right? Wow. I guess it is that old. Maybe that's why it's so weird. To me, like, so culturally different.
I love Moonberry's just trying to see if you could squeeze past that enemy right there in the doorway. Oh, he found the button that kills everyone. What a great button.
Despite Jiminy's objections, Pinocchio becomes Stromboli's star attraction. What fucking sentence is that?
Are you questioning a Disney movie?
I'm ignoring Jiminy.
Moonberry's making pretty good progress. I mean...
The plot here is that he got kidnapped, but he has a Deus Ex Machina fairy that just busts him out of jail whenever he gets in trouble. Just helps him out. Even though he lies to her constantly, she still does. Like, so that's the plot. That's how he got out of jail. And then, this guy takes them to this island. Which is just like a lawless chaos land, I guess.
Alright, nice. Moonberry made it out of level 19.
Have you ever seen Escape from New York?
I haven't.
Okay, well, the island is basically that. It's just all the convicts get put there, and I guess unlike the movie Escape from New York, they turn into donkeys because of a curse. That doesn't happen to Kurt Russell.
Okay.
But everything else is the same. So that's how we got there. Now I understand, I guess. I don't remember any of that, but I guess that's how the plot happened.
I only know two things about those Escape From movies. I know that Snake Plissken in it is where Solid Snake got his name, and I know that that's the reference that they're making in the second to last level of Bubsy 3D, Escape from Woolay.
I don't remember that, but that sounds like it. That's a pretty clear one. I mean, so those two movies, you should watch them back to back if you watch them, because you might then notice that they're exactly the same, like scene for scene, like one. It's
just
like
one movie.
It's like a comedy version. It is. It's like a comedy spin-off of the same thing. Like, it's just like he gets there, he loses his weapons, and he meets some lady. 5 minutes later, she gets killed randomly. That happens again, exactly like that. That all goes down exactly like that.
It's like, how did you not learn the first time?
It's the same damn thing every time. It's good though. I like them both. The second one's probably better, but the first one's serious and fun for what they are, I guess. I mean, Bruce Campbell's in the second one, just shows up, does some weird stuff.
Bruce Campbell, like Evil Dead Bruce Campbell?
Yes. He just shows up as like some maniac who wants to cut off people's like fingers and use them for himself. He wants his own
That
fingers.
is so Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't recognize him until I watched it 10 years later.
I watched Evil Dead at an age where I should not have watched Evil Dead.
What age is that?
I think I was like in early middle school.
Yeah. I can see it. I only saw Army of Darkness for the longest time.
Oh, so you weren't aware that they weren't all a comedy?
I thought they were when I finally went back and watched Evil Dead.
Okay, yeah, I guess
I watched them in the wrong order to be scared, I guess. I don't... It seemed like more, it seemed like what I expected, I guess. It seemed like...
Sure, yeah, I guess the first movie probably doesn't hit the same way after you see Army of Darkness.
After the Three Stooges skeleton gag, it's kind of hard to take it serious. We are still looking at a big spread here. Moonberry is having no trouble with these isometrics. There's
Moonberry has hit
Pinocchio.
one really tricky level here where you basically have to get this guy trapped. There's almost no other way to get to the exit. You
Nice.
have to get him stuck back behind those spikes.
Managed to do it. There's some
Got it done.
sentries. Yeah, some of these rooms are just like they're over in seconds. I can see why this is so fast.
Yeah.
How many stages are in this?
100. But once you know all of them, each level's like 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah, have you seen the show Reboot? There's an Evil Dead reference in that.
Really? In Reboot?
Yeah.
I've definitely watched a lot of Reboot in my life. I never realized it was an Evil Dead reference, but I guess I saw them in the wrong order.
Oh, you can't miss it because it's the game that comes down.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
God, I do not remember that at all.
Have you seen the Grim Dark, like season 3, or did you see the start?
Yeah, the one where they're like traveling through the
internet.
Yeah, I don't know where they're traveling. I forgot, but it's like this weird Star Trek spin-off where they're like traveling through space.
Hyper inner space. That show loses its mind. It's really funny.
I've resisted going back and rewatching any Reboot because it's one of my worst fears that it won't hold up at all.
It's got
because
Tony
I
J.
remember it really, really fondly.
It's got Tony J in it, and he plays the electric guitar. You can't miss. There's no way that you're gonna go back and feel like that was a bad waste of your time. It's just no way. Not with him in it, doing his evil guy voice. He's Megabyte.
I did like Megabyte.
Yeah, like he's your standard evil guy voice. Like he's the guy from Legacy of Kain who does the god that you fight the whole time. he was the I feel like he was Frollo in Hunchback of Notre Dame. That sounds right. Hunchback of Notre Dame. That sounds like him. I think that's him. He's that standard voice. Yeah, he was the like bad guy voice of the '90s, and he was Megabyte, so he made that show great.
That show is extremely good. At least my memory of it is. Please don't tell me otherwise.
Nice hidden block jump. Moonberry moving on to 32, and the other two players have switched places. Digi's cruising.
Yeah, right now it's a race for second place because I think Moonberry has like found a really great rhythm.
Yeah, that's right. I'm on a reboot kick now. There's a scene at the end of season 2 or whatever where they said the ABCs are attacking us, and they were taking a jab at the network ABC because they had stopped funding the show. Or something like that. And when they came back, the little kid he's just this innocent, like, comic relief kid, has grown up, and he's missing an eye, and he's got a gun, and he just shoots people now. He's just pissed.
Oh my god, that is an Escape from... Isn't that an Escape from LA reference then?
I don't know, not really. I didn't get that.
Okay.
I don't know how we got from there to there. And so Matrix, that's right. He's got a gun and he says Death Blossom and it spins around and shoots everybody by itself. I remember that. I think they're trying to get home, is what they were doing at that point, and they eventually do.
Moonberry has struck like an impressive rhythm. Is just absolutely crushing this game at this point. He's now just trying to figure out all the skips he can. Way to go, Moonberry.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the plot of Reboot just fine, yeah. They get stuck in Mortal Kombat and he can't win, so they just travel with it. And then that's how they get stuck out of home. Reboot kicked ass, what a good show.
Live action Netflix reboot show?
Yeah, that's right. That sounds right.
They made one? Why? Did I just miss it, or did I choose not to watch it? The endless question. What an evergreen question.
Digi and Laurishi working on 26 at the same time? Digi cleared it, no troubles at all.
Problem is that guy's just so fast. One might say too fast.
I used to watch that show right next to Dragon Ball Z. It was great. What an afternoon.
The Guardian Code. Oh, that sounds familiar. I feel like I got a strike on some account because I watched the trailer for that on stream. I watched the trailer and I laughed at it, and I got like either
That's too bad.
a
That's
strike or a slap on the wrist of some sort.
I'm looking at the game here as you know, as we are, and I'm watching the jump spring over the pits on the moving. I think that is pretty tough for isometric platforming, but they look like they made it easily enough. They look like they had no trouble. Lauratius trying really hard to skip past here. See if they can make it. They'd save time if they could figure out a way.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's possible.
They've come close.
It does seem like it's possible.
The AI is vicious. It turns around quickly sometimes. I'm not sure what it's doing.
I see the idea here. I get it. By the way, Moonberry has made it into the castle.
The castle. Well, the sound design leaves something to be desired. But that's okay. I forgot there was even sound until they paused and I heard something else. This is... What if I mute my audio and play some jazz from King of Fighters 12?
You can do whatever you want to. I guess if you don't love this music.
It's not bad. It's just not 20 minutes of music. You know. Reboot having a PlayStation game doesn't surprise me. Cowboy Bebop has one that I've never played and have been meaning to, where you fly the swordfish. It looks pretty good. I wonder if it's got a speed run.
There's a Cowboy Bebop video game?
It's a starfighting game, unfortunately, but
I feel like I would have totally missed out on that, yeah.
It's untranslated. It's Japanese only. So maybe somebody's translated it at this point. That's one of the reasons I haven't played it.
That hunter is giving Moonberry some problems on room 42.
These enemies are rather creepy. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be hard to make Pinocchio's universe creepy, just given all that we know about it.
Digi's on the funny level right now. I don't think that there's a lot of levels that do this. It happens once or twice in this game, but the exit to this level is hidden underneath one of those tiles, so you have to just push it to the side. It's very easy to get to, but the joke's on you. You have to know it's there.
Room 42, we're getting close to our 30-minute mark here. It looks like we might get to halfway point. So there's 60 castle rooms, or you get inside the well there at some point?
You do get inside the whale, I think maybe at like the 80 level mark or so.
I love a good biomass stage setting. Need more of that. Need to climb inside some beasts. Have you ever played Legend of Legaia?
I haven't.
If you said yes, I would have said all after that. Did you put in the 80 hours you needed to get to the end of the game? And if you did, a town biomass level there is pretty cool that you can do.
Legend of Legaia?
Yeah, it's an RPG. It's PlayStation 1.
Oh, then I would have totally missed it. I was a Nintendo kid growing up, sorry.
It's got fighting game inputs for their random battles. It's pretty good, but it's so long. I think it's my go-to for games that pretend to end, and it just keeps on going. Like, it just keeps on going. You think you fought the final boss, and then you go back in time and you fight their parents, and then you go back to the future and you fight your ex-friend, and then you fight his god form, and then you go back home and it's ruined and you fight that thing, and then you fight another god. I think those are all... That's all great, but, you know, could have made another whole game with that content. 80 hours is no joke. That's an actual number I think you'll have to put in to beat that one. That's quite an RPG.
So, Lauratia has absolutely not figured out the intended way to do this level, but has come up with a brand new way that I bet could be faster than the way you're supposed to.
Here's the jump I was seeing earlier that they made in one try down below. And again, wow, they're just making it look easy off of this. I think they're getting the hang of it.
Can't believe I said this game was hard. They're making me look bad out here.
This character looks like Mickey Mouse more than Pinocchio to me.
I'm not sure it looks like either of them, being only a grand total of like 20 pixels.
It looks like Itchy and Scratchy from The Simpsons. Looks like that's the vibe I get. Just a badly drawn mouse is what it looks like.
Sure.
We're dealing with the Mimic once again. He's very aggressive, isn't he? He does not let you mess around. I guess he has to be. They did actually a pretty good job with his AI, given what they had to work with here.
Yeah, the hunter's pretty obnoxious. He's wild.
He comes after you faster you can move. I mean, he has to do that. But we have to get him hung up here, I guess?
Yeah, if you could just outrun him, then I don't think it would be a very interesting challenge.
Lauratia has beaten that. Room 47 going on the right. Oh, we found a pit.
You gotta land on the platform through that pit. Through that hole in the floor.
Kaizo traps. Oh, this is
very
tough.
sneaky.
This is tough. Do you have deaths in your run?
Probably. I do know of at least one level where I took a few deaths. It was one of the ones where you gotta get the hunters trapped because it's kind of tricky. But I don't know how many levels have deaths in them. They're pretty fast, so...
The castle's been reached by Digi as well. Mooberry's only 6 stages ahead at this point.
If I saw a run that brought the time for this game down to like 13 or 14 minutes, I would believe it. I don't think that my run was highly optimized. I mean, games like this for speedrunning, the biggest fun for me is always actually trying to route it, so...
I'm sorry, look at that ghost. Look at his happy face.
That ghost is having a good time. He just wants to be let out. He's tired of living in a little box.
He's done it. Once again, he's gotten that mouse. That mouse, Pinocchio. Have you played the SNES game of Pinocchio? The Kuso game that it is.
Yes, I have played it. I haven't beaten it. I've played some of it.
Somebody sent that in for Arcade Pit, and I played through the whole thing in disgust to make sure that it was not good.
Nice. Moonberry made it through 47. 47 was giving him some trouble.
What's this ghost deal? Is it randomly moving, or is it mimicking you or chasing you?
I think it's mostly just random motion, but he starts out trapped inside that box, so you have to let him out first.
Oh, that sucks. Big hitbox on that ghost. Room 48. Doesn't look too bad. A little bit of a puzzle going on here, though. It looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. Room 49. We are going to make 50. Surely
Nice.
This won't stop us. 2 easy jumps. Can do that blindfolded. Yeah, yeah. Oh, didn't make it. Looks like you have to move sideways one tile while you do it.
Yeah, it like messes up your positioning when you step on those platforms.
There it is. Room 50. Is that... Oh, those are spikes. I thought it was teeth. Is the floor bad here? Okay, room 50 was a joke. Room 50 was pathetic. I can't believe. Oh, there's another mimic here. He's really slow though. 51 clear. Yeah, these don't get harder. They just get different.
Yep, that's about right.
Well, we have 30 seconds left in our allotted time here. How do you think they did?
I think they did pretty well. I mean, I probably was a little too ambitious to think that they could get a clear in 30 minutes, but I do think that they got the hang of it pretty quick, actually.
Moonberry has 52 cleared. Digi is in second place with 44. Well, they're working on 44. So it's 53, 44, and 34. Horatio is looking for the exit on the other wall that we saw. This is a big one. Level 34 seems to stop the players. They got it, though. Right at the buzzer there on 35. So 54, 44, 35. Our race is complete.
That's it. I've notified them that it is time.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, if you would like to compete or help us run this and look through it, hop in the Discord for it.
Yeah, I'm hoping, you know, the heyday of Speed Bump was when people were finding routes for individual levels and posting progress. I think this is a good game for that, because really, you know, one way that you can meaningfully contribute to the speedrun is just, you know, find a better route for a single level. If you have any ideas, feel free to share them in the Speed Bump Discord.
Yeah, games like this always make me think of Zelda, because at its core, it's one room a bunch of times. Just one room over and over again, slightly different each time, same elements. You know, Link to the Past is a good example, because you walk in a dungeon room and some of them are bigger than others, but generally speaking, I think the NES one probably is the obvious one, where this is a square. How's the best way to do it? Here's another square. You might have some stuff that you brought in from the other squares, but we don't even have that complication here. It's just each square is their own thing. There's a way to optimize each and every single one of them. You could have 100 splits theoretically, and it would make sense to do it. Sort of. It would just be a little wild to do that.
That was a lot of fun. It was, if nothing else, it was a lot of fun to have people play this game. I haven't really thought about this game a lot in the last 5 years since I've run it, but hopefully people take a look at it. You know, Moonberry said that they'll make a plan to hopefully get a time in this one. I think it's actually pretty easy to just put up a time. You know, if you run through the game one time, your second run back will be under 30 minutes. So,
yeah. Well, thanks for joining me out the blues.
Take it easy.
I'm going to be playing a game called Peppy's Adventure, which maybe is also a good speedrun game. We'll see.
Enjoy it.
Have a good one, everybody.